Meditation is definitely not something that I enjoy doing. However, I do practice it because I notice that when I meditate in the morning, I am so much better able to focus throughout my whole entire day. I find it really helpful. So since I am not someone that likes to meditate, I thought it might be helpful if I shared with you a few of the tips and a few of the things that I do when meditating, so that hopefully if you're a beginning meditator, or if you find that you don't enjoy it either, that it may be helpful to you too. One of the first things that I'll share with you is that you don't have to meditate for like a half hour, or even 20 minutes a day for it to be helpful. Even if you just meditate for 5 or 10 minutes a day, it can really help. So one thing to know is you don't have to sit on a yoga mat on the floor to meditate. You can sit in a chair. If you do that, it's kind of helpful to let your feet be touching the ground, and to, regardless of whether you are sitting in a chair or whether you're sitting on a mat, and I like to sit propped up on something, so I've got a little meditation cushion, but you could just use a few folded towels, a folded blanket, anything to prop yourself up. The reason that that's helpful is it does help you to allow your hips to roll forward, and when you do that, you can roll your hips slightly forward because it's going to make it more comfortable for you while you're sitting there. And then the other thing you'll want to do is just really relax your belly. And what that does is it gives you more of that neutral spine, again, helping you to be really comfortable when you are going to be sitting there for a period of time. From there, you've got hips rolled forward, belly relaxed, and then just think about lengthening your spine upward. So you might even think about a string being pulled from the base of your spine all the way up through the top of your head. So you've got a long back, but you've still got that natural curve in your spine by relaxing your belly. Really important to keep that natural curve because that's going to keep you more comfortable. So that's a few things to get you started. Now, what do you do when you're meditating? Well, meditation is practicing focus, really. A lot of people just simply focus on their breath. Watch their breathing go in and out, and just notice what's happening with their breath. It's really interesting. If you try and get really curious, you'll notice that your breath typically doesn't remain the same. It can have all sorts of nuances to it. So it might be something that you can either watch your breath or even count the number of breaths that you're breathing. That can sometimes help you focus too. A few other things that you could focus on too, though, which I find helpful. Sometimes I like to focus on sounds that I hear. So I might do that for a period of time in my meditation. You know, what I hear close in the room, and then even like what I hear either outside the room or even further outside the house, if I can hear things outside the house as well. So, you know, listening as far into the distance as I can. And then a body scan is always something that can be very useful. So if you're not familiar with this, it's simply looking at what's happening and being really curious about what's going on in your body. You can start like from your toes and just slowly work your way up the body, just noticing maybe where you're tight, where you're, feel really relaxed and comfortable. Maybe you notice a little itch, or maybe you notice that you're, starting to tighten up somewhere. So just noticing all those things, not necessarily trying to change anything when you do it, just more about the practice of being curious and allowing things to be as they are, as long as you're not hurting. But just noticing what's going on. Just notice and then just let that thought pass and just keep continuing to work your way up the body, noticing what's going on. Now, one thing I will say is, some people tell you that you need to sit very still, and I do, for the most part, sit still when I meditate. But if you become uncomfortable, there is nothing wrong with moving and getting yourself more comfortable so that you can sit there longer. That's totally fine. Just whatever you choose to focus on at the time, be it the peace bubbles that you're breathing into your body, or what you're listening to in terms of sounds in the distance, continue to focus your attention on these things intently while you move, shift, and get more relaxed and able to sit still again. So that's helpful to know as well. Because really, that's what meditation is. It is a practice of focusing your attention. And if you are able to practice focusing your attention on these things, whatever it is you choose to focus your attention on, then you're going to get better at focusing your attention on what you want to accomplish during the day, your work, or whatever it is you're doing. And that's why mindfulness, too, is another helpful form of being able to practice focus, because you're focusing intently on whatever you're doing at the moment. So it's just another method of practicing focus of attention. I hope that these ideas, tips, things that help me during my meditation practice, you find helpful. And if you would like more tips on mindful living and that type of thing, you'll find more elsewhere on my channel and my other videos. Hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next time.